I'm coming up on 5 years on YouTube. My first video wasn't great, bad lighting, my delivery was so dull, and barely anyone watched it.
So cringe.
But that video kicked off something that would completely reshape the direction of my life and my career. Since then, I've published a book, spoken at events, been invited onto podcasts, and made loads of new friends and professional contacts. It all came from simply sharing what I already knew or what I was learning at the time. Whether it's YouTube, a blog, social media content, or a one-off workshop, sharing your experience can create new opportunities, build trust, and help you grow in ways that you might not expect. Even if you're not sure what you talk about yet, chances are you've already got something worth sharing. When I started, I had a good job, but no real creative outlet. I kept trying out different hobbies to find a good fit. Painting, macro photography, stand-up comedy. But I wasn't really excited by any of them. I work with so many talented artists in my day job, I couldn't help thinking about what my creative thing was supposed to be. I was living alone in the COVID lockdown, and like most people, I ran out of distractions. Even the office gets boring eventually.
Oh my God, kill me.
I needed a creative outlet that would occupy my mind and my hands, and I found it when I tried filming a vlog of my day and I edited it together. I don't even have that video anymore, unfortunately, but in that one day, I watched a few YouTube vlogs to get some ideas for the kinds of shots I could film, camera angles and scenes that might be interesting. I planned out a rough storyboard. I wrote some bullet points on what I was going to say. I had to refresh my memory on how to use my camera properly too. I talked to the camera, I went outside and I filmed anything that I thought would be interesting. Then I got home and I learned how to edit a video in Premiere Pro in a few hours. I was up at 7 that day and I did not stop until past midnight. I was so totally absorbed by it that the day just flew by. I was being creative with the shots and the script. I was playing around with the camera, which engaged the technical part of my brain. I did more interesting things that day because I was filming. Then I had to research and learn a whole new software to put the video together. The video that came out at the end was shit. It was boring and rough and I made loads of mistakes, but I was hooked. I hadn't felt so focused on anything in years. It ticked all the boxes that I'd been looking for in a creative project. I realized that vlogging probably wasn't for me because my day-to-day life isn't that interesting at the best of times, and I'd be stumbling over my words because I hadn't planned what I was going to say. So, okay, I thought, I know what the medium is now, but what's the message? What do I actually want to talk about? And the obvious thing was to talk about what I do in my day job. I looked around at other YouTube channels about illustration, and they were mostly artists talking about their personal experience in their art practice, and I saw an opportunity and noticed that almost no one was talking about the business side of illustration on YouTube, and I was in a perfect position to talk about that. In my day job as an agent, I work with lots of professional illustrators and their clients, but there are thousands of freelance illustrators trying to make it work on their own who don't have an agent, with all the talent and enthusiasm, but maybe a bit of a skill gap or a lack of interest in the business part. I couldn't make them better artists, but I could help them turn their skills into a career. And my niche became crystal clear. So my first video was basically a repurposed blog post that I'd written a couple of years before. I changed a few things here and there to make it into a script, and I filmed it and I posted it on YouTube. Since then I've scripted and filmed 140 YouTube videos about the illustration industry and probably 150 short videos for social media. Sharing ideas and information publicly on YouTube and social media has given me the confidence to do things that I never thought I could do. And more than that, it's given me a real sense of purpose, a mission that goes beyond just doing my job. It's about helping other people grow too. It's also made me better at my job. I've had to learn, write, and reflect on every part of my industry because I'm putting my opinions and my advice out there publicly. I've built a nice little personal brand for myself, the Illustrator's Guide, which means people know what I stand for and who I help, and that kind of clarity has opened up a lot of doors. You might not see yourself as a content creator, and I don't really, but putting your ideas out there into the world can be a real eye-opener for so many unexpected benefits, confidence included. It's not about going viral and growing the biggest audience possible, it's about being useful to the right people. Having a space where I can create useful content that's actually helping people has made me feel more fulfilled in my career, my creativity, and my community than I ever have before. And I get loads of amazing emails from people thanking me, which is the best motivation. But it's been slow. I haven't had any viral videos or big jumps in subscribers. It took me 4.5 years to reach 10,000 subscribers. I see a lot of YouTube videos with titles like How YouTube Changed My Life in 90 Days. But for me, it changed my life over 5 years. Quietly, gradually, one video at a time. I look around at other YouTube channels growing fast and I feel a bit jealous. Of course I do. But after 130 published videos, I know I'm in it for the long haul. I know this is part of my life now, regardless of how many views or subscribers the channel has. Yes, I do want to grow on YouTube, and yes, I'd like to grow faster, to be honest. But whether the channel grows quickly or slowly, whether a video gets 10 views or 10,000 views, I'm still showing up because it's valuable to me and to the people it helps. And honestly, that's how most creative careers work too. Slow, steady effort. Not everybody can blow up a channel in 3 months or become an overnight success as an artist. For most of us, it is a slow grind that takes consistency and determination. I didn't start this channel because I had a perfect plan, or any plan at all really. I started because I wanted a creative project and I figured I had a bit of experience that might be useful to someone, and that was enough to get started. If you're looking for a creative side project or a more meaningful way to spend your free time every week, a YouTube channel could be that thing. Side note, I don't have kids. There are plenty of people in my industry with more experience and more charisma than me, but you don't need to be the best in the world to have something useful to teach. Just someone with a bit of experience others might benefit from and a willingness to share it. And that's all I started with, and that is enough. YouTube is my creative outlet now. It satisfies the performer in me, it's turned me into a writer, and I read more too. It gives me an excuse to play around with and spend my money on cameras and audio equipment, which I genuinely enjoy, all while doing something useful for other people. Making videos also means I'm constantly learning new things. I'm always a student looking for ways to improve what I can do, researching new topics, challenging myself and figuring out how to explain things more clearly. And that, I think, is the primary reason that I've stuck with it all this time and why I'll stay interested for a long time to come. It's not just a creative project, it's a challenge and a reason to keep leveling up. I should clarify that the purpose that I've found from starting my channel is not just to make videos. What it's really shown me is that I can live a life where I'm always mentally engaged, always pushing myself to do a little better, and I'm always making things and trying to help people. And that's not limited to YouTube. It could be videos, articles, books, podcasts, courses, or some other format. Whatever format you enjoy, if you share what you know and follow your curiosity, you'll connect with the right people, and sometimes you'll even get paid for it. And I think most people are capable of doing that if they're willing to take that first step. That's important, but then to continue walking that path, even if it takes a while and even if it's difficult or feels awkward at first. Personally, I'd rather try hard at something I care about than to live an easy life doing something that I don't. So here's what I've put into this channel so far. 140 plus scripts written, probably over 300 hours filming, at least 500 hours editing, not that you'd know it from my basic skills, countless books, articles and podcasts that I've learned from and I've been able to pull ideas out of and reframe to be useful to my audience. That part doesn't feel like work, to be honest, but it's nice to consume content with a purpose other than simply for the sake of it. I wasn't consistent at the start, but most recently I've made a video a week for 75 weeks. That is really demanding, but it's helped the channel grow. It took me 3.5 years to gain 5,000 subscribers while I was being inconsistent, and 11 months to get my next 5,000 subscribers while I was posting a video every week. I've made a little bit of money from YouTube ad revenue, not much, but I've also offered one-to-one portfolio reviews and coaching and made a bit of money from that. I also have the royalties from my book. Nearly all of it has been reinvested into leveling up specific skills. And here's what I've spent that money on. I've joined courses and communities and booked one-on-one coaching sessions with other YouTubers and creators to help me level up my skills. I've taken courses on writing, technical skills, YouTube in general, marketing too, ranging from short specific classes and workshops from maybe $200 to longer courses and more intensive boot camps, the most expensive being around $4,000. I bought a lot of camera gear too, definitely more than I need, but I have fun with it. I joined several communities for specific skills so I can surround myself with people who are doing what I'm trying to do. I'm in a YouTube community now. I was in a writing community when I was writing my book, and a community for people who build communities. Yes, that exists. I joined the Future Pro group too. If you want to know any more about these things, drop me a line and I'll be happy to share more. I've worked with a couple of coaches and have hired freelancers for different things too, editors, illustrators, graphic designers. It's not cheap. I've spent a lot of money on this side hustle. I definitely could have done it cheaper, but it funds itself. And that's allowed me to keep reinvesting into my own learning, which honestly is something I probably wouldn't have prioritized otherwise. And everything I learn, I can apply to other things and I can take it with me into whatever I do in the future. Sharing publicly has made me take my own development more seriously, and that's something I think a lot of creatives would benefit from. So that's what I've put into it. Here's what I've got out of it. Clarity and confidence in what I think. When you write down what you've learned with the intention of teaching it to someone else, you really have to think about what you think. This is one of the best things about making content regularly. It sharpens your thinking and helps you work out what you actually believe. I've met literally hundreds of people as a direct result of making videos. Out of those, I've made a handful of good friends, and as a man in his late 30s, making friends isn't as easy as it used to be. I get really positive comments and thanks from people all over the world. I know my channel is good, not because of any stats I can see in YouTube Studio, but because my audience gets in touch with me specifically to tell me, and that is such a good motivator to continue. I do spend a lot more time looking at stats on my phone though. I could probably do with cutting that down. I've got way better at talking on camera. It feels natural. Fuck. Okay, I'll leave that in. I've got way better at talking on camera. It feels natural. I make way less mistakes than I used to. I still want to work on getting off script, but it's been a game changer for my communication skills. I've got other new skills too, lighting, editing, writing, and all kinds of other little side skills that I've picked up along the way. I've got an excuse to spend my money on gear and tech because I'm doing it for my YouTube channel. It's almost justifiable. I think and hope that I've gained my audience's trust too. I'll answer pretty much any question that I'm asked if I can. I've still got imposter syndrome. Talking publicly about any subject is bound to lead to a bit of insecurity, but I get to practice squashing those thoughts every day. Some days are better than others. I've become way more disciplined. When you've got to make a video every week, you really have to commit and show up. And I've had some unexpected opportunities come from it too. Been asked to speak at different events and universities, going on a couple of podcasts, that kind of thing. I was on a Skillshare panel last year, which was pretty cool. I've learned a lot about all kinds of things. If you took my YouTube channel away from me tomorrow and all the back catalogue of scripts and videos along with it, I'd be fine because I've got ideas coming out of my ears. It was a bit of a challenge at first to come up with new ideas every week, but the more I do, the more ideas I have. And that definitely applies to other creative pastimes too. And it's really helped me connect the dots between a lot of my different interests too. Performing, teaching, writing, coaching, photography. Somehow this project has given me the space to do all of it. If you've got a bunch of different interests that don't seem to fit together, trust me, content creation has a funny way of connecting those dots. And that's what I think a lot of creatives are missing. Not just work, but a space that's fully their own, a place to experiment, to reflect, and to connect with other like-minded people. You don't have to start a YouTube channel, but you could start writing or teaching or sharing bite-sized ideas online. Whatever format feels right, putting your thoughts out into the world will sharpen your thinking, attract the right people to you, and give you opportunities that you might never have found otherwise. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be a few steps ahead of the person that you're helping. If any of this resonates with you, let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear your story too. I've grown a lot over the last 5 years, not just here, but here. And the channel is going to keep growing with me, and I hope it will help you grow too. If you've been here for a while, thanks for sticking around. And if you're new, welcome. You might enjoy this playlist. There's more good stuff to come. Whether you're starting your career as an illustrator, starting a YouTube channel, or a business, you don't need to wait until everything is perfect. It never will be. You just need to start and be willing to keep going. See you next time.